So reading Srimad Bhagavatam 5.1.15. Yishadastam Shreshtam Yavarundamayenga Sukam Sukam Vaguna Karma Sangam Astaya Tatta Jakuntanata Chakshusha Matanda Eva Niyamana Isha Abrishreshtam, created or given by the Lord. Suddenly, Avarundamaye, we have to accept. Anga, my dear Priyavata, to come distress, Sukham, happiness, Va, oh, Guna Karma, with quality and work. Sangat, by association. Astaya, been situated in tat, that condition. Yad, which body? Ayunta, begat. Nadaha, the Supreme Lord. Chakshusha Mata, that person having eyes. Andaha, blind man. Eva, like Niyamanaha, been conducted. Translation, my dear Priyavarta, according to our association with different modes of material nature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives us the specific bodies and happiness and distress we achieve. One must therefore remain situated as he is and be conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Exactly as a blind man is led by a person with eyes with which to see. Please respond. My dear Priyavrata, according to our association with different modes of mental nature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives us our specific bodies and the happiness and distress we achieve. One must therefore remain situated as he is and be conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Exactly like a blind man is led by a person whose eyes with which to see. So, purport by Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By material means, one cannot avoid the happiness and distress unique to his particular body. There are 8.4 million bodily forms, each destined to enjoy and suffer a certain amount of happiness and distress. This we cannot change, for the happiness and distress are ordained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in accordance with whose decision we have to receive our body. Since we cannot avoid the plan of the Supreme Godhead, we must agree to be directed by Him, just as a blind man is led by a person who has eyes. Under any circumstances, if we remain in the condition allotted to us by the Supreme Lord and follow His instruction, we will become perfect. The main purpose of life is to follow the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is such instruction that constitutes one's religion or occupational duty. In the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, Lord Krishna says, Sarvadharma Parityāja Mamekam Sharanam. Give up all other engagement and simply surrender unto me and follow me. This process of surrendering by following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not meant for any particular caste or creed. A Brahmana can surrender, and so can a Kshatriya, Vaishya or Sudra. Everyone can adopt this process as stated in the verse Chakshusha Matandaye Niyamana. One should follow the Lord the way a blind man follows a person who has eyes. If we follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead by following the directions it gives in the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, our life will be successful. The Lord therefore says, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee and offer respect and obeisance unto me. Then you will certainly come back home, back to Godhead. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. 1865 Bhagavad Gita. The instruction is meant for everyone. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Sudra. If anyone from any division of life surrenders the Supreme Personality of Godhead and follows his instruction, his life will be successful. The previous verse has given the analogy of bulls moving under the direction of the driver of the loka. The bulls, being completely surrendered to the driver, remain wherever you want to place them and eat whatever you want them to eat. Similarly, being completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should not aspire for happiness or regret distress. We must be satisfied with the position allotted to us by the Lord. We should follow the path of devotional service and not be dissatisfied with the happiness and distress He has given. People in the material mode of passion and ignorance generally cannot understand the plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with His 8.4 million forms of life. But the human form affords one the special privilege to understand this plan, engaged in devotional service and elevate oneself to the highest position of perfection by following the Lord's instructions. The entire world is working under the influence of the modes of material nature, especially ignorance and passion. But if people engage in hearing the chanting about the glories of the Supreme Lord, their lives can be successful and they can be elevated to the highest perfection. The Brahan Naradya Puran, the poet says, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva Gatiram Yuta. In this age of Kali, there is no other way for spiritual perfection than the holy name of the Lord. Everyone should be given the chance to hear the holy names of the Supreme Personality of God. But thus one will gradually come to understand his real position in life and be elevated to the transcendental position above the mode of goodness. Thus all impediment to his progress will be cut to pieces. In conclusion, therefore, we must be satisfied in whatever position we have been put into by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should try to engage ourselves in His devotional service. Then our life will be successful. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Vinanam Vinashilakaya Chikshudhan Melitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sarpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamam Yadati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Kya Sri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Saji Satvitam Shavadutam Vajanam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamishya Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavane Ishwari Rishavan Sutta Devi Pranamami Hare Kri Vancha Kalpatarupayasya Sindhavebhya Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desakarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord Brahma is trying to convince Priyavrata to take up the job of being to rule the world, not only the world, the universe actually. Swayambhuva Manu want him to take over the lineage, the parampara, to run. So they want him to do because they found nobody competent. And the story is that he was being preached to by Narada Muni, and Narada Muni is always preaching about what? Renunciation, yeah. Narada Muni is brahmachari and he is always preaching about Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. Vairagya and Vidya. So he wants him to renounce and not go into family life and then get all entangled, because family life is very entangling. Yes? You know. How do you know? You see your father and mother. Oh, by that. Good, you're observing. You want to go into it? You sure? So any householder can say how entangling it is. A lot of, miseries, heart attacks. So Priyavrata, he realized, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go into this. Because if we take up the kingship, we cannot run like Modi alone, no, single, and it is not possible. We have to have a queen, correct? Yes? So he didn't want to go into that. Because Narada Muni is telling him, don't. But then they had to run the whole country, the universe, not country, universe. So he was not interested. But then there must be somebody capable to also do this job. So Brahma has to come down to preach to him, asking him to change his mind. And so, in this way, this is telling that everybody has to act according to the modes of material nature, which is a fact. Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, Nahe kashichyanamapi jatutistadya karma karyate ya avassaha karma sarva prakriti jai gunayi. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities as acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. This is exactly the same point that Brahma is saying. Yeah? See? Everyone is forced to act helplessly. See? You understand this point? Everyone is forced to act by the modes of material nature. We cannot refrain from not acting. No one can refrain from doing something. not even for a moment. That is the construction of the whole material nature. Everyone. Yeah? So if a person engages in sense gratification, you see, what happens, he starts thinking like this. If we engage in sense gratification, he starts thinking like this. See here, this is what happened. Prakriti kiryamanani gunaya karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma. This word, ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. So when a person, he is bewildered, he doesn't know, because everybody is forced to act. If he doesn't know, why he doesn't know? The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, think himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. This is the point. You understand this point? First one is forced to act. Yes? Why is he forced to act? Because he is covered by Maya. You follow? When a person is covered by Maya, he is forced to act. He cannot control himself. See? He cannot. But because of this ahankar, he starts thinking that, no, I am doing. I did it. Because of me. Correct? You see, that's why Krishna used the word, what is that? Ahankara vimudatma. So if a person goes into the mode of passion and ignorance, then he gets bewildered. He cannot understand nothing about the Lord, but he thinks that it's me, I am the doer. You understand? He gets completely calm. So you see, this is explained here. No? It's 551. 16, is it? 5:16. So here, it's clearly explained here, another point, the same point. Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest. He cannot know, covered. The auspicious path in life is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose, for temporary sense gratification. Such a person creates a society of envy, and due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not know even about it. See? So that means if he goes into the mode of passion and ignorance, trying to enjoy his senses, he becomes more covered. He doesn't understand. He cannot understand. You understand this point? Is completely, I think. And then he creates so many problems. Person creates society, envy, and due to his mentality, he plunges in the ocean of suffering. So if it doesn't mean that if you go in that direction, thinking that you are the doer and all that, you're going to be happy. No. You're going to become more miserable. See? You become more. This is that's why our whole world, you see, this is another verse here, a very important verse, you can see. Nate Vedus 7:531. Yeah. See this verse, this is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. See the Sanskrit is pretty clear. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnu. Nate viduhu means one who don't know that is goal of life. Swartha. Swartha means what? Hello? Swartha means what? Your interest, no? Hey Vishnu. If he does not understand that his goal of life is to worship Vishnu, then is this the word Durashaya he Bahirarthamanina. Anda yatanda upaniyamana tepisi tantriyam urudami bada. See this very appropriate words that says, persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense object cannot understand the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As a blind man guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached man led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life suffering the threefold of miseries. This whole verse sums up the life of a person who is going in the other direction. And it's a fact, they all are taking shelter of so many blind guys. And they all are not telling, see there are so many problems now, weather, right? This country flood, that country what? Drought, and everywhere is a mess. Yes? And then what is the answer? These blind guys, what's the answer? What is the answer? Oh, climate change. Why suddenly climate change? Why climate change? What? No, climate change. No, because we are making so many cars, all the pollution, this, that. So therefore now we should make cars without any pollution. Correct? But what is the answer for this? Krishna says, Annad bhavanti bhutani. Correct? 3:14, no? 3:14, no? See? Yeah, Krishna is saying in about 4 lines. Krishna says here, now also there is a food shortage also, correct? Inflation has gone so high, correct? Yes? Why? Annad bhavanti bhutani prajanyat. What is prajanyat? What is the prajanyat? Rain. Rain. Prajanya means rain. Annad sambhavaha. Yagyat bhavati prajanyo. Yagyaha karma samudbhavaha. In these 4 lines, the whole economic problem is explained. These guys are talking about climate change. Because blind. All living entities, all living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rain. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. 4 lines. Everything is clearly explained. First, Krishna is saying what? Everybody must eat grains. Without grains, nobody can survive. Correct? Yes? Yes? Then, how to get grains? How grain grows? From rain. Correct? And rain comes from how? Rain comes from doing your performance of yajna. Performance of? And yajna is born from prescribed duty. So, but they are not doing these things. So when you don't do these things, then the demigods, they are not like Indra, he is not subject to give you rain. Everything becomes topsy-turvy, they don't know. So all they need to do is do some chanting and then rain will come. Or the flood will stop. Or the drought everything will be put in order. You understand? See, it's explained here in the next verse. This whole thing is all there, very clear. Nobody is listening. That's why they are following blind leaders. When they follow the blind leaders, giants. Local recording stop. Huh? How do we do? No more recording. Yeah? Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of God. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in access of Truth. So you want to know what is sacrifice, you must follow the Shastra. You must follow the instruction of the Lord. And when we don't do, we see here, it says here, this is a very nicely placed by the Lord. He says here, I think this verse, Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartatiya ittiva yaha agayor indraya ramo mogam partha sajivati. See this? When you, my dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Veda certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of senses, such a person lives in vain. This is what's happening exactly. People who are not following the instruction of the Lord, they are doing a lot of sinful activities, and the result of the action is all these things. Completely bewildered. They don't know. They are living in vain. See? So this is why it is so important to understand what is the purpose of human life. You cannot find out the purpose of human life by going to the local universities or college or school. It's not possible. That's not possible. Because you will be taught that you have to work hard, get good grades, get good job. This way you get money, and by getting money, all your desires will be fulfilled. They are teaching this thing. That is all. Yes. What you learn in your school. What? This is the thing. Get good grades, get good job, get good what? Sense gratification. The blind leading the. That's all it is. Because why? They are caught by the modes of. When one goes into the mode of passion and ignorance, then his downfall is very clear. That's why Krishna said to everyone, Kamayesha Krodesha Rajaguna Samudmaha Mahasano Mahapapa Vidyenam Vairinam. He said, this is your greatest enemy. This program that you are trying to do, to enjoy the senses by the mode of passion and ignorance, is your greatest enemy. Your greatest one. Krishna already declared that. And if you go and follow that kind of a path, then what will be the result of reaction? It's going to be repeated birth and death. As Krishna says also in the Bhagavad Gita, 3 gates that leads to hell. What are the 3 gates that go to hell? You know the 3 gates that go to hell? You don't know? You don't know? Hello. Hare Krishna. Anyone can help? Lust, anger and greed. Try to remember this, you can learn. Trividam narakeshedam dwaram nasanam atmanaha kama kama krodha tata lopa tasmat etat triyam trajat yajat. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up, for they lead to degradation of the soul. That's why Krishna said this is the enemy. And our whole system is propagating us to follow this path. So how the world, how you, everybody will be happy? You cannot. It is not possible. You know. And if you associate with such modes, you will also get similar bodies. Suppose you get in the mode of passion and ignorance, what body you will take? Of course, if you get the body of passion, you will come back here as a human being or a demon. If you take the body of in the mode of ignorance, you will become what? Animal or ghost. Animal or ghost. Very painful. Of course, in the mode of goodness, you get promoted. And then that's also, short term. After that, you come back again. But therefore, according to the mode, it's here, Brahma is saying, you get according to the kind of happiness. You go to the heavenly planet, you be happy. You come here, you will be mixed happiness and misery. When you go down, complete misery. So this is the three ways in which we are getting ourselves implicated. Why? Because we are not adhering to the instruction of the Lord. So that is the problem, because nobody knows the instruction of the Lord. Huh? Do you know what is the purpose of life? Before you come here? Nobody knows. Right? Nobody knows. Huh? The purpose of life is the main thing that we should find out. Right? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and told us what to do. In Kali Yuga, what to do? Huh? You have to chant, you have to take spiritual master. That's 5 things we are supposed to do every day. What is that 5 things? Do you know? Huh? Do you know what the 5 things we are supposed to do? Don't know. Wake up, go to work. Take prasada. What are the 5 things we are supposed to do every day? What is that? We have repeated this a million times. Huh? Don't know? What is that? 22,118, is it? Huh? 128, huh? Please try to remember this, all these basic points. These are all basic. These are the 5 things we are supposed to do. One should associate with devotees. Sadhu Sangha. Then one should chant the holy name of the Lord. We have to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to reside in Mathura and worship the deity with faith and veneration. These are the 5 things you are supposed to do. Of course, you either stay in Mathura, you stay in the holy place like a temple, or you stay nearby, it's another thing. But you should do these 5 things every day. And this is very, very important. Even a slight attachment to any of this also helps one to make many good things. So like now, our idea is that unless we take up this process given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is no way we can get relief. We will be tormented. Like, explained, karmic, you see, they are tightly bonded by the ropes, right? Tesi tantra gurudami badaha. And they are miserable. You cannot be happy. There is no such thing. You can see. You go and read the news. What is going on? Everywhere is misery. Yes or no? What is the happy news when you read all the news? There's somebody died, some flood, somewhere, some drought, some guy declaring war, everywhere there is chaos. Yes, that is because they are not following. So, but if you take up this process that is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for Kali Yuga through the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, who have taught us this simple method. What is that method? This is the method that is given us. Very simple. According to the Vedic principle, one should rise early in the morning, take bath, chant Hare Krishna, offer Mangala Arati to the deities, study the Vedic literature, take prasad and engage in dressing and decorating the deities. One must also collect money for the temple expenditures. If one is a householder, he must go to work in accordance with his prescribed duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. In this way, one should live a life of spiritual understanding, and this is the Vedic way of civilization. One who does not follow all these rules and regulations is called a Yamana or Malaysia. See this? In fact, when the Prabhupada said that all the 5 things that you're supposed to do is already inside you, correct? Yes? Yeah, the 5 things is true. So if you do this, then you will get relief from this material bliss. It didn't say that you don't go to work, it just say that you go to work, yeah. If you are Kshatriya, you go to work as a Kshatriya, you are Brahman like this. No, we didn't stop you from that. Yeah? See, clearly. Chant Hare Krishna, wake up in the morning, take bath. Some people wake up and they don't take bath. You are. Must take bath, correct? And then chant Hare Krishna, offer Mangala Arati to the deities. You have come here, you see how we are doing the Mangala Arati? Yes? And then study Vedic literature. You are studying Shastra, you must study, correct? And then you must eat only prasad. You cannot eat anything else but not. And engage in dressing and decorating the deities for those who are doing that. And one must also collect money for the temple expenditure. Or if one is a householder, he must go to work according to the prescribed duty. You are Brahmin, you go and do your Brahmin work. You are Kshatriya, like this you do. Of course, in Kali Yuga, everybody is born Sudra. Everyone is working as a Sudra. But there is no bar. It's simply as he says here, you go, earn your money, and then you give, of course, some portion to the temple. That is required. So if you follow this path in this manner, then you will not be implicated by mind. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that to the Brahman, no? If you follow my order to preach, you stay at home, chant Hare Krishna. At the same time, if you can preach Krishna consciousness, then Maya will not touch you. If we don't do this, then there is no hope. Our whole life will become messed up. Just now we read following the blind leaders, and it's finished. Yes, you can see you have now come to this process. Then how you know you're becoming cured? You're able to follow the 4 principles. If you can give up meditating, illicit sex, gambling and intoxication, then you can see that you are on the right track. But if you cannot give up these 4 things, then your process is not working. Is not? Not possible. In Kali Yuga, you cannot do anything else. You go try do any other process other than the chanting of the holy name. The Prabhupada quoted the word Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. Then it will not work. You can try, we are not giving you the option, go try. They can't even give up their habit of coffee drinking and tea drinking. Yeah? Correct? Even some people chant Hare Krishna. Notice. They also chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. I was in Rishikesh. I went to the Shivananda ashram. I went long way back. And then I went inside and they were chanting Hare Krishna. No, they chant Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then I walked down. Hey, the food is served there. Coffee and tea is also there. I was very much, astounded. Chanting Hare Krishna and you got coffee and tea. What is this? Yes. I also was in a Madhva's ashram in Bombay. I had to go there for some reason. Of course, I wake up in the morning, it's my nature, I chant my rounds. And then the guy, before he does anything, he's drinking his coffee. Yeah? Come. So you see how they are, although doing some kind of religious activities, they are addicted to this thing. That's why he says, unless you accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you cannot come out of this. Even though if you chant Hare Krishna also. You understand? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, incarnation of Kali, he has come, Patita Pavan, Hetu, to deliver. You understand? You cannot come out of Krishna's Maya by doing your own way. That's not possible. Mama Maya Turatyaya. So if you want to come out, you have to follow the prescribed duty given by the Lord. And what is the Yuga Dharma for this age? What is the Yuga Dharma? What is that? Kali Kale. What is that? Nama? No, that's it. Kali, Kali Re Dharma, Hariname Sankirtan. Kali Re Dharma, Harinama Sankirtan. You understand? You cannot try to imagine and concord and all. It will not work. It cannot work because prescribed duty is given by who? That's why this is not the verse. All rules and regulations are given by law. You cannot change it. You cannot. You understand? If you want to get successful, you must follow the prescribed duties given by God. Yes? I mean, all of you are coming from Hindu background. I'm sure you had to do some puja, go here, go temple. Completely confused. I don't know what I was. I was confused like anything. What's going on with this whole thing here? This guy said this is God, that guy said that is God. Some guy go and do this kind of thing here. I don't even see what are you doing? Some guy stand on one leg. Yes? Yes or no? No. Hello? Yes or no? You understand? So therefore, if a person is fortunate, that's the word, he is what? Fortunate. What? Brahman the Brahmata kono bhagyavan jeev. Bhagyavan, fortunate. Guru Krishna Prasada Paya Bhakti Latta Beach. If a person who is wandering in the whole universe, if he is fortunate, he will come across a bona fide spiritual master and Krishna. If he is fortunate. Understand? So if you got that, then it is your duty to nurture it. That's why the Prabhupada said, what you should do? Wake up in the morning, take bath, do Mangalarati, correct? Yes? Read the Shastra, take Krishna Prasada, and that's it. If you have to work, you go work. If you have to do temple work, you do temple. Yeah? In this way, you will be safe, protected. But if you don't do this, then it's, I don't know. You know, I've seen many devotees, the real reason why they fall down. Firstly, they don't associate with devotees. This association is very, very important. Especially with devotees who are practicing this discipline. If you don't keep association with devotees, then it's very hard to. In fact, I was talking to someone who was it yesterday. Yesterday I was talking to Vrindavan. He said the word Mangala Arati, and the devotee was shocked. So what is Mangala Arati? Devotee. They are shocked. That means they never did it. Huh? They never did. No importance. They are trained to do this Gora Arati. Evening time Arati. They do Gora Arati and then take prasadam and then sleep. But Mangala Arati is, you understand? And the moment you don't do this spiritual, now you have come here, right? How long you stayed here with us? 1 month? You attended Mangalarti every day, right? You see any difference? No difference. You see how it is so important. The Prabhupada said, if you don't do this, there is a verse here, no? Is it? What is that? But here also he said, this is it? He said here, we must rise early in the morning, bathe, attend Mangala Arati, worship the deity, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, study the Vedic literature and follow all the rules prescribed by the Acharya and the spiritual master. If we deviate from this process, we may fall down. Even though we may be very highly advanced, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. This is very clear. If you don't want to do this, then Prabhu, you're going to get the blessing of the Guru in this way. You will what? Fall down. You understand? So the method that is given for us to make advancement is this. Acharya Upasana. If you think that I am the Mangalarti or Prabhu, forget it, cost so much coming here by taxi or I cannot afford all this. At least do at home, every day. Correct? Learn and do. Nobody is saying no. Yes, but if you don't do, then that is going to ask for trouble. Of course you will be troubled, what? Huh? Yes. Just sleep away, fall down, so many nonsense. You cannot make it. And then you think, this process is not important, this is not good, I will do what I can do. All kind of things you start speculating. And it's finished. So try to understand the importance. I have explained in today's class what happens if you are a materialist, and I have explained how to overcome that, and we have given the solution also. Yes? Is it clear? Clear or not clear? Huh? And I also explained what if you don't do this? What happens? Yes? So try to take it a little seriously. It's not very difficult. Anyone can wake up. You go to bed early, correct? And chant. Anyone can chant. Yes? Not difficult. And if you do this very quickly, you will get strength. And you will get a lot of attraction for the Lord. That I think we have explained many times. So any questions or comments on this point raised?
Nowadays, in ISKCON, there's some people are teaching like this that at home, once you wake up, you should chant. So they actually are taught to chant even in bed. Wake up and chant first.
No bother. Prabhupada said here Ved. I quoted 2 verses, correct? Did he say Ved?
Yes.
Huh? I mean, it's Indian culture, when you wake up, you take bath, isn't it? You don't take bath. No? Huh? The Indian culture is to take bath, and then how you can chant when you're not clean? Correct? Unless you are traveling in the plane or what, you cannot take bath, and then I can understand that. Then even then also, you must learn how to purify yourself by mantra, no? Om pavitra pavitra va sarvavasnam gato piva yasmara tundarekacham sa vaya abhayam darasuchi Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. You chant this mantra and then you purify yourself. You got some water, you sprinkle. At least you wash your mouth, correct? That much, right? Yes? Then you start chanting, nobody say no. But we follow the system given by our spiritual master. Then we do Mangalarati, Because before Mangalarati, you wake up early, you can chant, and then you attend Mangalarati, correct? And if you don't do that, we find that in my experience that you spiritually, you don't have the strength. We were talking to one boy who was the vice president of the temple. So the devotee asked him, do you attend Mangalarati? Mangalarati? Prabhu, this is something I have not done for a long, long time. See? So if a person does not do this, then you can chant, you wake up and chant without your bath and all that, but you're not going to become strong spiritually. I saw one boy when I was running a temple in 1970, I think 79 or something. This guy will always do his chanting by putting a blanket. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like this chanting. When finish, no more round. No more round. That's why we are chanting with the devotees here. Prabhupada has given the order that you should chant in the temple room. At least we chant 1 hour, about half an hour we chanting. And nobody wanders away, go walking, talking, this thing. No. Everybody. Even I, the president also has to be here chanting. I cannot say I do something else. No. So that will give us the strength because we are chanting together. Understand? And also you want to chant and you don't want to fall asleep and all kind of things, right? You're concerned, you say, they are watching me. Yes, right? And you hear together, there's a verse, no? It says we should, what is that? Associate with devotees, what? 11:3:30. By associating and chanting, we will get strength, But you do it all alone in the dark. One guy told me, no, Prabhu, I love to chant in the night, just before I go to bed. What kind of system is that? Chanting in the night. Authorized is to chant in the morning. Correct? Especially 1.5 hours before sunrise. You chant. You see, your mind will become fresh. Actually, our recommendation is that you come here, You come to the temple. Then your life will become spiritually, strengthened. But you follow all this snapshot method, wake up, chant and do Mangalarati. Some guys are having Mangalarati in bed, because nowadays they have got this, what do you call it? This online stuff, So he is sleeping and he just opened, Prabhu, I had Mangalarati Darshan, Prabhu. Mangalarati Darshan? In the bed. Because he got the phone work, right? Wow, very nice, Prabhu, very nice Darshan. In the bed, like bed coffee, bed tea. Complete nonsense. You understand? So we should not go into all this kind of, follow the standard given by Prabhupada and you're safe. Wake up, take bath, come here, chant, associate with the devotees and then, finish service, then, if we say we go work to do, go work. Right? and then come back again evening, you go arati here, or 10 arati, take prasad. If you follow this regimen, then you will be protected from Maya. But if you try to deviate, then we will have a lot of problems. Yes, of course this thing will then go on. I think the other subsequent class will explain more that how Priyavarta will be convinced to take up the job because he is actually a spiritually advanced person. So when a person is Krishna conscious, then the Maya will not affect him. This is a verse here. I was trying to show this verse. Yesterday was it? Yes. Friday is it? I was going to show this. So this verse here, you see, how can the fire of material suffering continue to burn the hearts of those who worship the Supreme Lord? See this point here? How can the fire of material suffering continue to burn the hearts of those who worship the Supreme Lord? So if we take up this job of doing this program, then we are not going to get burned. Correct? Yes? The Lord's lotus feet have performed innumerable heroic deeds, and the beautiful nail on his toe resembles valuable jewels. The effulgence emanating from those nails resembles cooling moonshine, for it instantly relieves the suffering within the heart of a pure devotee. Just as the appearance of the moon's cooling light relieves the burning heat of the sun. That is point. So that is all our training. If you do not keep the Lord, or you do not go to the Lord, then suffering is guaranteed. But if you go to the Lord and do this according to the instruction of the Acharya, it has to be under the instruction, because this whole verse is trying to follow the instruction of the Lord. Of course, our instruction is coming through Prabhupada. We are following, so therefore we are getting relief. But when you don't follow, as even Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, if you don't follow Arjuna, then you will be lost. And in another verse I have shown many times, that if you don't follow, then I will destroy you. Krishna also said that. You follow this point? So you cannot try to escape. There is, although you don't see prison bars or handcuffs or all this, but Krishna has already arrested all of us. If you don't want to follow, then you're going to reap the consequence. Why go into that direction? Why? You can become happy this way, Arjuna. You follow this, you become happy. If you don't want to follow, you're going to be screwed. Huh? You're happy to be screwed. Tell me. See, I'm showing you this verse. Huh? How can the fire of material suffering continue to burn the heart of those who worship Him? Cannot. Not possible. According to the instruction of the spiritual master, not your speculation. Right? So that sums up everything. So okay, we stop here. Any questions, comments, anything? Anything to add? No? Anything? You know the 3 gates to hell now? Very good. Alright, thank you very much. Jantarashma Bhavalam Ki, Sundar Gopāl Ki Jai. Oh, friend.